Just a quick instant reaction to the Seattle Mariners trade. Paul Sewald is out, and the Mariners have brought in Josh Rojas, Ryan Bliss, who's in the minors, and Dominic Canzone, who is pretty much a guy who was balling out in the minors, but hasn't really had too many opportunities yet and hasn't played too great in the MLB yet. But you never know how that might pan out. Now, this trade's interesting if you start scrolling through Twitter. Even our own page, Mariners on Tap or Son Seattle, one of the two that you follow. We were kind of confused at the beginning. It feels like a really big loss of a trade. Paul Sewald's been playing great baseball. He's an awesome guy in the clubhouse. It feels like a sell for the present. It feels like we are completely ready to sell because Josh Rojas is probably he's a major league ready player, but he's been playing awful this year, 228 with no home runs. And on top of that, Dominic Canzone just came up to the majors. He hasn't, I'm not going to judge him off of a few at-bats. I think like 50, 60 at-bats. But it's not like a guy who's ready right now, batting 270 with a couple home runs or starting to get hot. Ryan Bliss, though, is something for the future that seems very exciting. He's batting 332 and 13 home runs in the minors. It's actually interesting because he is 5'6", only 23 years old, but maybe an Altuve type of guy. 332 with 13 home runs at 5'6" is pretty impressive. I'm actually impressed. But Canzone was also going off in the minors. I mean, the guy batted 354 with 16 home runs in 2023 throughout the minors. So he also has a minor league career of 310 and 60 home runs. So even though he hasn't panned out yet, there is some good potential he pans out. Now, the only the big thing, I guess, here that's frustrating or hard, I would say, is Paul Sewald is a guy that helps you win baseball games in this league. He's a fan favorite. He's a clubhouse favorite. So emotionally, it's always tough when those type of things happen, but we can't always worry about emotions. If one of these batters pan out, and I'm pretty much talking about Canzone or Bliss, I'm not really counting on Rojas to pan out to something special, but if one of them pan out and you have a couple good bats that come from a 33-year-old Paul Sewald, while you get a 25-year-old Canzone and a 23-year-old Bliss, even a 29-year-old Rojas, you could at least look at it in the long term and say, this was a great haul for us. Because if we get some productive bats, a 33-year-old reliever, as much as I love Sewald, that's okay to get rid of at some points. I would think we would say it's a good haul. Now, it's tough. Everybody on Twitter has a different opinion. Some people are like, think you're an idiot if you think you won the trade. Some people think you're an idiot if you think you lost the trade. I've gone through both the emotions. At the beginning I said, what are these prospects? They're not even high in the list, but it looks like they're guys that have, been outperforming their prospect rankings and been hitting well in the minors. So if they don't follow the rankings that they were and they keep batting the way they are, it looks like the Mariners might have cashed in on some young, good bats for the future. So for me, feels like a buy for the future, but a sell for the present, which is a little tough to swallow because we're 5.5 games back. But maybe if one of these guys comes in and starts being really productive early on, I will change my entire mind and it changes our season. So you never know. Tough in the clubhouse, though. That's the one sad part here. I don't know how the Mariners, are going to handle that one, but we'll see. Hopefully the Mariners made the right choice. That's all I'm going to say. Let's see what else they do in the deadline. Let's see what Jerry does.